Joshua Baer. I help people quit their jobs and become entrepreneurs. And I do that at Capital Factory, which is the center of gravity for in Texas. It's the place that brings entrepreneurs together to help them find all the other people they need to meet to grow their businesses.
How did you get into this type of work?
I was not myself. My first company in my college dorm room in the late 90s, mid-90s, in the first .com boom. And I built that business up, friends I met, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I didn't know anything about stores like that, so I didn't raise any money. But built over a decade up to be a successful business that I could eventually sell, and gave me the ability to start more businesses and to meet people that bought and sold businesses, like that whole club of people, start doing more of that, and then starting in other people I met and helping them start businesses. That was really the beginning of Capital Factory. I grew up in New England in kind of like a middle class, 80s, Gen X. I'm kind of Gen X crossed to Gen Y. In doing that, it was really interesting because coming out of it, I had that kind of like, I'm a hard worker. I got a lot of hustle and I work my butt, I've had a lot of great success and I've been really lucky. I also worked really hard, and I thought like, oh, well, hey, I work with a lot of people I know. Maybe that's why. And then since then, through all the experiences, different people that we worked with, and, certainly some reports that I've seen and the kind of eye-opening, some of the people that have helped me open my eyes, I've seen that actually not having anything in my way was a huge advantage. Right? That was a huge part of what made it so easy. And then the few times I've ever had what was put in my way that didn't seem fair or didn't seem like, it was like, wait a minute, or like things I could control, and it's not like it happens very often. I've been really fortunate, but those are the things that really have brought to me to light that for a lot of people, it's not just about hard. It's also about having a whole bunch of barriers in your way, and those things that created around you and things you inherit and all kinds of other stuff. And to me, that's why the diversity work that we do is so important, is because just recognizing that that it's not really a level playing field. And so what can we do to help level it out a little bit? And it starts in like my family. We have our Baer family values, and the first one is do, and it's the most ambiguous one, but it's kind of like it's actually the easy justification for a lot of things, and that's where I start from this. I just know this is the right kind of thing. But on top of that, everything I've seen shows that it makes a lot of business sense too, and that working to include a lot of perspectives, bring in a lot of different people, to have a represent group of people at the table when you're making decisions about things that are going to a whole bunch of, it makes businesses do better. It makes teams work better. And that's not always comfortable or easy, but it actually makes better results too. And so that's a big part of why I try to make sure a company runs that way. And I try to invest in companies that look like that have different perspectives and different people in them. Sorry, that was a long answer to your question.
It was good. Well, you another one in there, I think. Where are you born and raised?
Ashwin, New Hampshire, just outside of Boston, which growing was, I just remember in the headlines, consistently being ranked as the place to live in the country. It was fastest, but it had this kind of little, and then I went to school in Pittsburgh. That was great, but it's on the middle thing. And then I came down to Austin, and Austin just was like that times 100, right? And 99, which is kind of the peak of the first .com boom. And even though there was a little hit for that with the .com crash, Austin's just been up and to the right the past years. And it's just been so incredible to be part of such a growth reality, a rising tide. And yet, as you pointed out when we first started to talk, it's not rising for everybody, and it's not growing for everybody, right? In some ways, it's, bringing in lots of different people, but in some ways it's bringing a lot of the same people.
Describe a moment that helped to change your perspective
on life. I think for me, one of the things was 9/11. The attacks in New York and DC. And the thing about it for me that really I feel like changed my life and kind of ties back to some of the other I made was that was the first time where there was a global event, like something completely outside my control that had a big impact on me personally and my business. And again, back to my, the privilege that I've enjoyed is I never had really felt like anything was outside my control. I grew up having everybody tell me to do whatever I wanted to, and I wanted to. And I had all these opportunities in front of me and good grades, and I, did things like that. And I thought I could do, and if something didn't work, it was always my fault. Like it was like, I could at least say like, okay, like, well, I didn't do good enough, or I tried hard enough, or whatever, or someone else is better than me, or whatever it might be. But this just and I was here in Austin, but I had a lot of customers in New York, and so when New York was affected, a lot of people I knew, and it was a lot of people that suddenly stopped doing business for a month or two, and that affected my business, and like, I thought, there's multiple different things bad for all the people that were hurt, of course, but hopelessness of like, wow, I can't do anything about this. Well, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to fix things. I want to do things, right? And there was nothing I could do. And that brought a perspective, you think, really to life. Like, and it wasn't about terrorism.
Right.
It was more about, like, really, like, honestly, about privilege.
In line with that, what life lessons have you learned?
Life lessons. Well, lots of them, I hope. But, I mean, some of them, first of all, it's all about people. It's all about, most things are about getting the right people in the room. And you can bring that a lot of different ways. That's, diversity to that too, but it's not just that at all. But, it's just, making a great event is about getting the right people in the room and curating the right group of people and creating the right kind of people. And business happens between people. All right. Some lie to it, but it's also about people, relationships. And on that note, you're going to see people over and over in your life. And I remember as a young person, I did not have this understanding, this perspective that the people I was interacting with were people that I was going to see again 10 years later, 20 years later, or probably 30 years later. I'm not quite there yet. But it's true. And so don't be Bridget. Like, play nice. Have integrity. Like, do what you see, because you're going to work with people over and over and over again. And fortunately, I don't think I have any big horror stories about it. But, like, I didn't know, like, I was at an event 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I looked around the room, and there were 50 people in the room, and about 10 of them that I'd known for about 15 years. Wow. Through multiple businesses. We were there for one specific thing, and I didn't know them all through that thing. I knew them through a whole bunch of things. But it was just like, wow, people, it's a small world, like, it's a long life, and hopefully, and you're gonna, people stick around. You're going to see a lot of people around the way.
Awesome. Well, here's another one that I ask everybody in interview. What do you feel is your place or your purpose in life? Well,
I don't think I've got it all figured out or anything. I certainly ask myself it as much as I think I've got any answers. And so, before I had a family, I think I would have said that my purpose in life is to help create more entrepreneurs, to empower people, to help themselves, and to create something out of nothing, and to make the world a better place, because I think most entrepreneurs are all trying to change the world somehow. But then I had kids. That's brought certainly a new perspective to things. And certainly kids, I know it's not for everybody, but if you have to think, it's hard not to have your kids be the purpose of your life.
Yeah. How do you think people will remember you?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Sure, that won't be exactly the way I think it'll be. Everybody's perceptions are a little different. I hope that they'll remember me as, I want to, somebody that did what I said I was going to do, that they can count on, that left the world better than I found it. That's my real starting point. You don't win that game. You can't ever be done, right? Like, there's a million people, a bunch of other people that have done more and helped, had more impact, or done things, or done other stuff. Like, so, not that it's a race. Like, that's the goal, I think, is you're only here for a little while. Make it count.
Who do you admire?
I think other people who do that in their own different ways. I admire Heather Bruner, the CEO of WP Engine, who I've had the pleasure of working with quite a bit, who's an incredible CEO and leader. Over the past year or two, I've gotten to know quite a few in the U.S. military who we're working with through the Army Futures Command and the Air Force and other groups that are here in Austin. And wow, I really admire just about everybody I've met through there. I had not had a lot of exposure to the military before, and I really had, I think, a misconception about what kind of people they produce and what comes out of it. I thought it would be maybe a bunch of jarheads or something. Like I'm kind of picturing a football team, and they're really, really smart people who are really working on really big problems, and they really care a lot about what they're doing and about trying to make the world a better place too. And that's just been an incredible honor and privilege to get to work with them.
What do you enjoy doing the most here in Austin?
I got one more person I really look up to too.
Oh, okay.
And that's Eugene Sepulveda. Okay. Maybe two more. Eugene Sepulveda. Eugene, I don't know if you know Eugene, but Eugene's incredible. He's one of my closest advisors. He advises the mayor and then and he's at a point in his life where he really just gives. Like he gets to decide who he wants to help, and whoever that is really lucky. And so because of that, he's done really awesome things, but also I think have a big impact, and he gets to be really picky about how he spends his time. And I just, he's somebody I'll really, I'm thinking about how to put the situation, and I'm asking, well, what would Heather do? Calling Eugene, to get advice. And, so he's another one of that. And
what was that last name?
Sepulveda.
Sepulveda, okay.
Sepulveda, yeah. Eugene Sepulveda, the CEO of the Entrepreneurs Foundation. And then another one is Bob Metcalf,
okay,
who was the inventor of Ethernet and the founder of a company called 3Com. He's now a professor at UT Austin. That's where I know and work with him. And I taught a class with him for a while. So just one of those people that I call up when I'm not sure what to do or looking for advice. Been through a lot of incredible situations. He's had an incredible impact on the world and continues to. And just someday I really look at him again, when I'm not sure what to do, he's one of the people I ask.
What do you enjoy doing here in Austin?
It's funny. People ask me what my hobbies are. Capital Factory keeps me pretty busy. And so pretty much if I have any extra time or any extra time, it's to go spend time with my kids, my family. I've got 3 kids and an amazing wife, and that's my hobby. That's what I do in Austin. But with the kind of things we do, obviously, they've got sports and kid stuff. There are things there, they're often pitching me business based on things I'm doing, and so I don't really try to push it on them, but they're just throwing business ideas at me all the time. Things they want to explore the technology and the things that we have. So those are a lot of fun things we get to do together with virtual reality or gaming or things like that, where my world checks with things that they're interested in. This past weekend, I have 3 kids, so each day I took a different kid to the Austin City Limits Festival, and that's a tradition we've had since they've been born. And so I do really enjoy the life here in Austin and take full advantage of it. But again, that's something I'm usually doing with my family. And I remember a couple weeks ago, the Mouse was playing at ACL Live, and I was there with my 9-year-old son. There were not very many 9-year-olds there, but we were down to Dead Mouse. When I received your note, it was really quite an honor, and I really, like I said, of all the types of recognition that you might be able to get, this is something that means a lot to me. It's the kind of thing I usually wouldn't tell my kids about most things that are going on, but this is the thing that I would really want them to see and hope that they would, look up to as well and, learn from.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy, so I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me to get all of this.
Awesome.